How to record a video podcast from 2 locations. There are many times when you're going to want to have a guest on, or maybe it's you and a co-host. Whatever the situation is, there are some things that you need to know about and be aware of so you can either A, get it set up right the first time, or B, know how to fix it in post-production. So let's dive in. At the end of this video, we're going to show you a couple different things that you can do, either with post-production or during the recording phase. Several different options to the recording up front, which can be as simple as a program, or maybe even in your podcast hosting software. There's a bunch of stuff out there right now. We're going to go over all of those right now. So you're going to be recording your podcast, but in 2 different locations. Let's say it's you interviewing a guest, or let's say maybe it's you and your co-host. You happen to be in 2 different locations. If it weren't for COVID, we wouldn't have this transcontinental podcasting that we've got going on now. There are many times when people will have, first of all, when it comes to working remotely, that's what sparked it, and then people just went ahead and started applying it to their podcasting. So if people have been working remote from Boston to Atlanta to Salt Lake City to LA, let's just keep doing it. Well, how are we going to do our company podcast? Same way. Go for it. You set up your software, and now there's some software that you can use, and then there's other software that's specifically made for it. For example, you can use, let's say, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. All of them will do that gallery view, get a whole bunch of people on the screen. And if you just want 2, fine, that's just the 2 of you, no problem. No matter what, you can have as many people as you want up there, and that would be the way to do it. Now, when it comes to some of this online stuff, one thing to be aware of is, number one, between the audio and the video, it's not going to be much more than 1080p, which is high definition. That's fine. When it starts to get lower than that, remember, you can't mix it up to 4K. You want to stay at the HD or 1080p level and mix down to a 1080p level. Don't try to mix up. You really don't want to mix down. The next step down would be 720. Yeah, I would strongly discourage that, because in today's high-speed internet world and 5G, chances are people are going to see that it's 720 and be able to notice maybe the degradation in quality is just too much, and you don't want to turn people off. So bare minimum, and see if you can't sustain it. You can always record in 4K and then drop it down to 1080p, but your signal is not going to be much more than 1080p, so what's the point? But don't go any further, don't drop it any lower than that. So be sure to stay right at that 1080p level. The other thing you can do is certain podcasting platforms have their own software. The first one that pops into my head, well, there are 2 of them. Number one, Riverside.fm has got theirs, and they've got a really fancy one because it is made for multiple recording across the internet. They've geared it towards that. They've built it for that purpose. Of course, you can do a solo podcast, no problem, right there on your own screen. That's not a big deal. But Riverside.fm was built for across the internet and having multiple people on a podcast. Now, do you need that many? Because it also comes with a price. All the bells and whistles, many places have a bunch of tools at your disposal. Anything from marketing to monetization to editing to music to you name it. And then there are some others that just have maybe some basic editing software and hosting involved. They're at a much lower price. Either way, you're going to be paying on a monthly basis. Know the package you're getting into and what are the extra options that you need. That will determine the best host for you. One other piece of software that pops up in my head is, it's called Descript. Now, the coolest thing about Descript is it will turn your podcast into text. It will turn the audio into text, and then you just edit the text as if you were editing a Word document or something along those lines. Whatever gets edited in the text is what gets edited in the video. If you're not experienced with multi-track video editing, this is a really smart way to go. It makes the whole process very simple, and there's not a lot of places to get in trouble. might be a good place to start with. Descript and Riverside.fm, both of them are two hosts that you might want to look into. So going over all this stuff with podcasting and maybe even videos or maybe even radio advertising, whatever it is that you're looking for your business, this is something that we do every single day here on this channel. Be sure to like if this has helped you at all. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything that we've got coming out in the future. We're talking lighting, microphones, cameras, you name it. We cover it all here to help you with your modern multimedia advertising. A couple other considerations. Be sure that when you're in a multiple location situation, one of the key settings, now Riverside FM was built for this. Zoom, you need to actually choose the option. What am I talking about? Separate audio tracks for everybody on the call. Whether it's just you, that's only one audio track, no problem, you're covered. You and a guest, you and a co-host, maybe a panel discussion, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. You're gonna want to set that to separate audio tracks because everybody's going to be in a different location. Everybody's going to be using a different microphone. Everybody's audio is going to sound completely and totally different. The saying in voiceover goes, the quality of your voiceover is 10% the microphone and 90% the room you're in. How is the room treated? And I guarantee you, somebody sitting on the sofa in San Francisco is not experiencing the exact same audio as somebody sitting at their kitchen table in Baltimore. Ain't gonna happen. And you're gonna have to make some corrections for that because the last thing you want your listeners to go through is some type of a deadened thing and then into some big echo and then they're having a discussion and they keep going back and forth like this and it just drives you nuts. You can't do that to your listeners. You want to somehow even that out, and the way you're going to do that is through EQ and post-production and compression and stuff like that, all those fancy audio tricks at the end. You don't want to, or if you think you can get everybody in the same room with the same mic, that'd be great. But if you can't, again, San Francisco to Baltimore, okay, fine, maybe we can handle it in post. Make sure you have decent levels to work with. You don't want somebody down here and somebody up here. Get everybody at the same level, and then you'll have some good audio to work with and be able to make those adjustments and hopefully get the two to sound the same. Background noise is going to be different. Somebody's got trash cans, somebody's got trash trucks, somebody's got dogs barking and birds singing. And then of course there's always the person who says, oh, I'm going to be out on my deck this afternoon. Forget it, they get everything. Oh my gosh. And you get to clean it up. So be sure to have separate audio tracks for everybody who's on the call. You're gonna need it and you're gonna want it. Not to mention, of course, everybody has different voices as well. And you're gonna wanna be able to treat those voices once you've taken care of the background noise and any type of wind blowing or hissing or noises and stuff like that. You're going to want to be able to enhance their voice as naturally as possible. And for, say, somebody who has a high-pitched voice versus a medium or a low-pitched voice, those are going to be different kind of treatments. You don't want everybody on one EQ is not a one-size-fits-all. Compression is not a one-size-fits-all. The best thing you can do is have everybody separated onto different tracks and treat them individually. There was a video podcast I was watching not too long ago, and there were two guys in the same room, on the same microphones, and they weren't even wearing headphones. Now, that just totally blew me away, and I thought, well, no, they're just having a conversation, but the mic happens to be sticking in from the side or something like that. That's easy to do. That would be no problem. But for multiple locations and things like that, you're going to need that individual control to make the final product sound perfect. So be sure to set it up right from the beginning and you'll be good to go. To help you in that endeavor, there's a whole bunch, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a whole bunch of free audio editing software out there. I have created and compiled a guide, a free guide to free audio editing software. In the description down below, you will see a link. Click on that link and you'll get a free copy of the free guide for free audio software right now. Click the link below and get your copy. I'm Nick Natarello with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.